Hello everybody, it's George from Ireland. Anyway, here is Le Louvre in Paris, and when I first came to Paris so many moons ago, this glass pyramid hadn't even been constructed, but that's the entrance to Le Louvre. So yeah, queue up there, you go downstairs, buy your tickets, and when you walk in, you can see some of the medieval foundations, because it was a castle almost 1,000 years ago. Obviously rebuilt, renovated, made a bit of it knocked down, bits of it burnt down, and to what you see here is mostly early 18th century. And you see these statues up high of all sorts of distinguished Frenchmen, statesmen, writers, generals, and so on. Oh, Abelard, who famously there's that epic, I think it's a poem between him and Héloïse, the monk and the nun who fell in love, rewritten by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the Swiss in the late 18th century, about a love story between a teacher and a pupil, would be very normal these days, and so on, okay? From people who are mythical to people who are definitely real. I'm not sure if any women are featured. And then way up high we have cherubs. It's just magnificent, the detail, wow, what intricate handiwork. Well, they don't make it like that anymore. This is far too much to show you. You can buy books of photos showing you all the fantastic sculptures, and divided into various pavilions after French leaders, like Pavilion Turgot, there's Pavilion Richelieu, Colbert, that 16th century Huguenot admiral who was assassinated, which sparked off a new round of the French wars of religion. Okay, so giving you some idea of it, and beyond this there's a courtyard beyond that. So it's just gigantic. I mean, you could spend all day there. I sort of raced around it in about 2 hours. Obviously, the Mona Lisa is the real highlight of it, which was notoriously stolen by some Italians just before the First World War, but then recovered. It is originally Italian painting. A lot of it is made up of war booty brought back by Napoleon when he sacked various Italian cities in the 1790s. So we're on the right bank now. So it was a royal palace, then an art gallery, and then on the other side there was Les Tuileries, which was a royal palace that stood behind me, near this where this archway was. Les Tuileries accidentally burnt down in the mid-19th century, but the gardens are still called Les Tuileries. You can see the Eiffel Tower over there in the distance, built in, in 1889 for the centenary of the Revolution, meant to last only a few decades. And after the First World War, France was financially finished. And so an enterprising Czech conman, Victor Lutz, the bouncing Czech, as they called him, he wrote to various well-known French businessmen, said, "You're known for your discretion. Can you please come to a private meeting? This is an extremely sensitive governmental issue. I know you're patriots, so you won't blab." And said, "Okay, we're going to have to dismantle the Eiffel Tower and sell it for scrap. Would you be interested?" But this is, don't tell anybody. And so someone said they would. He said, "Well, I've got to pay a bribe to the minister in order to get this going." And French politics being what it was in the 1920s, they found this completely credible. And several of them paid them a bribe, thinking they were buying it exclusively. And of course, he disappeared with the money, correctly calculated to be too embarrassed to go to the police. So the story came out years later. But that's Victor Lutz, the man who stole the Eiffel Tower. He got away with several such cons, but he did wind up in the slammer for several years for other tricks like that. He obviously spoke absolutely flawless French to be able to convince them that he was acting on behalf of a nameless French government minister. Okay, so that's a bit of Le Louvre. I mean, you know, you haven't seen half of it. Look how it goes on here. It's surely, Paris is surely the most marvelous capital city in the world. And beyond that side, over there, is the River Seine. Okay, so rather busy with tourists. Imagine what it's like at the height of summer. Don't come in the summer, come in the winter. That's my advice to you about coming to Paris. So yeah, it's got all sorts of objets d'art, ceramics, relief sculptures, bronzes. It's got art from all over the world. It's principally France, other European countries, but there are things from ancient Egypt and all sorts. Okay, even up to some sort of more modern art, Dadaist and things like that. Nonsense, really. Right, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and donate on Patreon. Okay, donate PayPal, georgecallahan79@gmail.com. Toodaloo, everyone.